also coined by Henry Fayol, the same guy we have discussed earlier. Okay, but he says that if these managers who are already having a training, learning how to plan, to organize, and to lead and control, they should also know these principles of management. There are 14 of them, okay? 14 of them. So the first one is division of labor. But before we go into that, please remember you have also a grading system, okay? And I have explained to you how you can get your grades. You get it from your quizzes, from your assignments, and your final exam by the end of the term. And if you got, for example, 60 to 65, that's the passing, okay? And then the highest, of course, is 95, you'll get excellent. And remember, what's going to be in your certificate will be the remarks like excellent, outstanding, very good. Not 95 and 85. It will be a descriptive grade. Okay, it will also be appearing in your certificate. So you have to make your goal excellent. Do not make your goal passing, because when your goal is passing, you might go to failure. Okay, your goal has to be excellent. So if you were not able to get that, at least you have outstanding. Okay, aim high, dream high. Okay, set your goals high so that you'll get high. If you set your goal here, you might go even below that. Okay, which is the tendency, right? The tendency, if that's your goal, you might go below that. So you have to set your goal high. Okay, so challenge yourself. You can do it. Okay, just challenge yourself. I know you can do it. You just have to work hard. And this is for yourself. Think about it, that you're doing this for yourself, not to anybody else, to compare yourself with somebody. You have to challenge yourself. Okay, so I know you can do it. You just have to really sacrifice a little bit of your maybe social media for 1 hour. Instead, you read your lesson notes. Okay, and you already did one sacrifice. Instead of going mini here and there, you are here studying for your professional growth. Okay, so remember, do not forget your principle, your management functions. Again, remember, this is also from Henry Fayol. From Henry Fayol, the engineer, French engineer, who also coined this one. So let's start with the number one. The first one is division of labor. So what does it mean by division of labor? Okay, you have specialization here. Okay, it's basically the function of the manager wherein you do organizing. Okay, so you have a manager here. He says, according to Henry Fayol, that if you're going to divide the work towards everybody in the team, you can do the work better. Yeah, rather than you're the manager and you're doing the things, all the things, you have to delegate. What does it mean by delegate? You have to delegate the work according to the specialization of your team. Somebody is good in talking, you assign that one doing the live, maybe in Facebook, or doing the, somebody's good in writing, let that person do the emailing. Okay, somebody is good in talking and convincing, do it for marketing. So you have to delegate. That's part of your principle of management and the division of labor. You have to assign and delegate the work according to specialization, because we want to increase efficiency. Okay, you understand the division of labor? So you're going to give the work and distribute the job to the team. That's called delegation. You're going to divide the labor. That's called division of labor. You know, have you watched that movie Ants? Ants. Yeah. You have? Wala. So what do you notice in the ants? There's a hierarchy. There's a queen, there's a soldier, there's ants that are, their job is to get food. There are ants whose job is to protect the colony. There are ants whose work is to just, create babies, the queen ant. So what do we want here to understand is that everybody has a role in the team. Okay, and they should know their role so they'll be able to do their job properly and how they can contribute for the team. So that's the first principle. The second principle is authority. Inom ka tubig dear. Okay, authority is when you have the right to give orders. Right? So you're the manager, you have the right to give orders. Yeah? That's why you are the manager. You give orders to get things done, not to become somebody who is with a high nose and lift it up like that. The purpose of that is so you can get things done. You have the authority. So it's called authority. You give orders to your team. Okay? Then we have the unity of command. What is unity of command? Anyone who has access to the portal right now? Anyone who has access? Wala. Wala pa? What is unity of command? Yes, Ms. Elizabeth, do you have it?
I don't have it.
You don't have it? All right.
So you should receive order from one manager.
Yes, you should receive order from only one manager. So for example, you have an employee, you tell that employee to report to you. So that means the employee should only take orders from you, not from the other managers. Okay. So there'll be no chaos. The problem is if you don't follow this principle, your employee might be receiving orders from the other manager and you're saying go to the left and the other manager is saying go to the right. So what will happen? Things will not get done because the employee is confused. He doesn't know who to follow and obey. So there should be only one person in command, one person to give orders. So you should get only one order from one person. So there'll be clear direction and avoid confusion among team. Okay? All right. So let's review. What's the first principle? There are 14.
Division of
Yeah. Number one is division of labor.
authority.
Okay, you are the manager, you have authority. Then number three,
Unity
unity of command. There should be only one person giving orders. Okay, and the next one would be subordination of individual interest. Okay, subordination of individual interest. What is individual interest? Okay, for example, you're at work. See, these people are at work. Okay, and then this person, everybody's using the internet of the office, but one of them is playing games. That's his personal individual interest. So what it says in this principle is that you shouldn't make your personal interest above the interest of the company. So you're going to subordinate your individual interest towards the common good. And what is the common good? The good of the organization. Okay? So your personal interest should not be your priority when you are in the organization. The priority should be the interest of the common good. The common good is the good of the organization. So whatever you have, have you heard of the term conflict of interest? Have you heard of that term conflict of interest? What is the meaning of conflict of interest? Anyone who wants to tell me what is the meaning of conflict of interest? Conflict of they're not agreeing to each other. What is conflict of interest? Any idea?
We don't have the same goals.
They don't have the same goal. The goal of the other one is to satisfy himself and be happy. Okay, don't think about the good of the organization. He doesn't think about the plans. Okay, the goals of the company. So the other people are thinking about the interest of the common good, that is the interest of the company. So it says here in this principle that the interest of the company should be the first. So subordination of your individual, your personal interest should be down. Subordinating means down. So the priority should be the good of the organization. And you have to make your personal interest subordinate or below. Okay, that means the priority should be the good of the company, the interest of the company, then your next interest. If you don't follow this, that's what we call as office politics. Okay, and conflicts of interests. All right, so next we have scalar chain. So, you know, when you go to some companies, you see the chart. You see the chart, organizational chart. Have you seen an organizational chart? Okay, what is in the organizational chart? Who is on top?
The goals.
The boss, the CEO. Then next, the next department heads. Then you have the sub-department heads. So scalar chain is the principle of management wherein it is represented by a group of boxes from the organizational chart wherein you have the highest person going down. So what is the importance of following a scalar chain? What is the importance of having the CEO? Then you have the vice president.
In the correct line.
Okay. So you have the correct line. Okay. That's called the line of command. Okay. Therefore, you will see when you have the organizational chart, you know who to report to, following now the the second principle and the third principle. Yeah. So you don't have confusion. So if you are in a sub-department, you don't go straight to the CEO. Okay. You don't break protocols. You go first to the department head, and the department head will talk to that. That's called the respect of the line of command. Okay. So that's the importance of that scalar chain, respect of the position. Okay. And it's represented by the organizational chart, the neat boxes wherein you have, that boxes in the organizational chart, that's called scalar chain. So there's a chain of command. Okay. There's a chain of command in the scalar chain. That's why it's called scalar chain. It's usually straight going up to down. Okay. Okay. So we have the scalar chain. So there's like a chain here. Sorry for my handwriting. Okay, we don't write nowadays much. So the handwriting is that. Okay, understanding the scalar chain, as you can see, there's a line of authority that runs from top to down. So the number 6 now here supposedly is remuneration. So never mind the number, huh? I made a mistake in the number. So we have the remuneration. What's remuneration? Yes. You don't want to work without salary, right? Nobody wants to work without salary. Yeah. So when you give salary as well or compensation, it has to be fair. Now, it depends on what type of culture you have in the organization, because some companies, if you are newly joined, even if you have high qualities and qualifications, you'll have to start with salary grade 1. You have to go to the beginning. That means your salary package should be in the salary grade 1. But some companies, they would take your merit and you can be applying and going into the position that you are, qualified to. So it depends. But what's most important is it has to be fair. Okay, now it depends on you now if you're going to accept that kind of culture. But what's important here is there should be a fair compensation. Okay, there should be a fair compensation, which includes if the employee wanted to work overtime, you have to pay the overtime pay. So basically, giving the rights of your employees in terms of their salaries. Okay, remuneration. Okay, any questions on remunerations? Okay, let's go to the number 7, which is order. As you can see, order, there's order. Okay, so this is like organizing. This is like organizing in the management functions. And what do you do here? You're going to put the people in the correct place. Like an accountant should be in the, where will you put the accountant? Accounting department. The marketing expert, marketing and sales. Psychology graduate, HR. MBA holder, maybe should be in the top management. Okay? So you put people in the right place or order. Yeah? Because what will happen if you don't follow this principle, you're going to put the accountant into the HR department, what will happen? Yeah, so we're trying to say here that in this principle, you have to put everything in order, put people, the correct people in the right place, okay? Next, we have centralization. So centralization is what? We talk about power here. Okay, centralization talks about power, okay, as well as the involvement. Yeah, efficiency, power and involvement of the staff. For example, if you are the manager and you're going to decide on, let's say, the activity for next month for the employees. So if you are a centralized power, you would say, okay, next month, we will have a swimming and nobody can say no. That's called centralized decision making. But if you involve your staff, what do you want to have as an activity next month? That's called decentralization. That means you give involvement for your team in that decision making process. That's called decentralization. But when you say centralization, it could be within only in your power or you have involvement in the decision making of your staff. Is it clear? Okay. So when you say centralization, you have centralizing role and decentralizing role. If you have a centralizing role, you are the only one controlling. Decentralizing, you have a distributed power or involvement of other people in the decision making of the company. So if you're a manager, would you like a centralized decision making or decentralized decision making?
For
Decentralizing, okay.
usually centralized.
You like decentralizing or centralization? Okay, why?
Most of the time in our company, it's always we follow the seat.
Hmm.
So we just follow.